How you doing, everybody? Randy Richard in the shop. This is, I haven't done a video in a little while. This is going to be a kind of a shop catch-up kind of thing, and announcement about my new tool. I'm going to show you some future projects I'm working on, or projects that are in the works, I should say. But first off, I want to say I'm going to attend the bash, and so I'll be heading down there on the 18th and coming back on Sunday, the 20th, I guess. I think that's right. And so that'll be that. Anyway, so if you haven't gone to the bash before, I know it's going to be a little bit scaled down, Stan says, but still a lot of creators will be there. Mostly machining creators, but other ones too. And it's still very fun to come to. And if you've never been, try to go. His raffle is awesome. He has some very good sponsors that are putting tools out there and things like that. I will also be donating to the raffle, kind of as a sponsor for the bash. Usually I donate a dovetail cutter or scribe or something like that to be given away. This year I'm going to donate several things for Stan, and be one of my scribes right here. This is a round one. It's not engraved yet, but it will be engraved, special for the bash, so you know where you got it. And I'll be donating an entire set of dovetail cutters right here. These are a blued set right here. It's a large one and one of those small ones. It comes in my little 3D printed boxes with one of the logo coins on top. Now, these are a whole set. So a lucky winner there. And then I'm making a new tool, and right here, one of the knockers, right here. Now, if you followed me on Instagram, you saw some of these. Some of the people on Instagram were very quick with the trigger, and I just finished a batch of them, and they ordered them up, and about half of these are gone already. So I only have, I don't know, 20 something left, roughly. And I'm going to save some and bring them to the bash, maybe 10 or 12 or something like that, but the rest are for sale right now. This one here is engraved special for the bash, and this is what it will be. This is a dead blow knocker, if you're not familiar. Has a brass end, the UHMW end, and lead shot in there. So, and they're all engraved. And so the one for the bash will be special engraved, or it is special engraved. This one's not the one for the bash. It's all wrapped up. So I'm ready to go. Anyway, if you're interested in one, email me. Just like any of my tools, you must email me or contact me through Instagram or text message me, something. You have to contact me. I don't send out notification mails. I don't do any of that stuff. You have to contact me, and I will send you via email the information. So that's why I prefer email, and I will send you a PDF document with the info on it, on how you can get one of these. I have a few scribes, maybe 10 scribes in stock. I have a couple small dovetail cutters in stock. I'm not saying I'm not making dovetail cutters 100%, but if you do want one, I will make it to order so you might have a little bit of a wait. I'm not going to usually stock them. I'm going to say usually because when I make one, I usually make 2 or 3 type of thing, and I'll have a couple then in stock. But I'm not going to sit down and make 40 of them anymore. I'm not going to do that. So you'll have to wait maybe a couple weeks sometimes to get one. I've made almost 1,000 dovetail cutters, and quite frankly, I'm getting a little tired of making dovetail cutters. I just being honest about it. Now I'm going to put a video out on how I make these. Now you saw a video, or you might have watched it I'll put a link up to it up in the corner here, on how I made one for Usual, but I make these different. These are 1 inch in diameter. That's the max size I can run on a collet in my hard-edge lathe, my turret lathe. And I make these on the turret lathe, actually. And I use my other lathe, my big lathe, my lance lathe also. I actually use my Logan lathe also as a turret setup for one of the ops. So I'm using a lot of machines to get this done, and it's a little bit of work there. So anyway, email me if you want one of these for all the details. So the other thing about it, I haven't made a video in a while. I just did a video on the endoscope, and if you check that out, in the description is a link to the endoscope with a 10% discount coupon, discount code, I should say, if you buy it directly from Tesslong. So you might want to recheck that out. I just got that set up and put that in there. I didn't have it at the time of the video. Other than that, so I haven't made a video in several months. My wife was, let me back up a little bit. 10 years ago, my wife had breast cancer. 5 years later, my wife had thyroid cancer. She had surgery for breast cancer, and then she had, radiation, chemo, and then she had thyroid cancer. Had her thyroid removed. Had more radiation treatment and drug treatments for that. So this is now 5 years later. Now, in December, 2 days before Christmas, find out she has breast cancer. A few weeks later, several weeks, she also has, so it was a reoccurrence of breast cancer on her other side. And this time, it's a reoccurrence of her thyroid cancer also. So in the last few months, she's had more breast cancer surgery, radiation treatment for the breast cancer, no need for chemo this time. They caught it very early, so that was very fortunate, and it really hadn't hadn't really spread very much at all. It was just located in really up high, up in here. So she's gone through that, and then she had to have surgery in her neck and a removal of lymph nodes that had cancer in them and such. So huge surgery in her neck. And then she's going to be on some drugs for a long time also on that for the cancer part of it. She has no thyroid, so she has to take drugs anyway for that. So that's the rest of her life. But she is healing up. She's doing very well. So we're really happy about that. I'm especially happy. Yeah. So that's what I've been doing the last few months. Lots of doctor's appointments, lots of tests, and all that. We have to drive one way, hour and a half. It's one of the downfalls of living where we live here in the mountains, to Fresno, California, for all the doctor visits and tests and everything. So it's a lot of back and forth driving, and she can't do all that by herself, and it's just too much, especially when like the radiation was every day, 5 days a week for a month. So we drove a lot. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing. But in the meantime, I also got some time in the shop, and I worked on a few things, and some of the stuff I did film, stuff like that. So we're getting some things done here. And I'm gonna try to show you a couple things real quick, and that's where we're at. I also, this winter, I did that barn project. You might have saw the videos on those. The barn is now complete. Matter of fact, I just finished up, had some little trim work to do, but I was waiting for a guy to do some painting, so it took 2 months to get things painted. But I did the trim work up, and that's all done. All the electrical's done. I'm all done with that project. I also built a cover for the horse, and I'll throw a little clip in here for that, called a kind of a loafing shed thing for the horse. And like I said, a few things in the shop. My neighbor, I think I've mentioned this before, my neighbor purchased a sawmill, and we've been gathering logs. We've been cutting some wood, but we're more gathering. We've cut up a few things for some boards and stuff, and I cut up some oak, some of our local oak. It's a black oak, it's called, and we're going to make a couple things from that, hopefully, after it dries. So let's see, what else have we been doing? That's about it. Anyway. Yeah, so the sawmill thing is going along good. We're going to build a huge cover over a container and the sawmill and all that stuff this summer, if we can gather enough wood. We have a lot of wood gathered to cut up, so we'll be doing quite a bit of that. I'll throw a clip in here of some of the cutting we've been doing. Dropping trees, just all sorts of stuff. Yeah, and that's about it. No, also the table saw restoration that got kind of put on hold because of parts and things like that. Gary Brown, Old Iron Machine Works, who I have a sticker right here. Gary Brown, Old Iron Machine Works. Check his channel out. He used to collect the same table saw I'm restoring. He used to collect those, and he had a ton of parts, and he gave me almost an entire saw. And I have to disassemble to remove some of the parts I need, and so I have all the parts I need to get the table saw finished. I'm waiting for some warmer weather. We're still having some cool and wind, so I can do some painting. I got some parts ready for that, and we'll get that job done. I really want to get it done soon, so we'll be working on that. It's coming along. It's going to come along good because I got the right parts that I need to replace. He also supplied me with the correct joiner for it that it originally came with. So it's period correct. And so that's good, and I'll get that fixed up too. So that's a good deal. Thank you, Gary, for supplying me those parts. It's just fantastic. Okay, so we'll go take a look around and show you a few things that I've been kind of working on. A little bright out here, but this is here's the happy horse right there. Very happy. And right there's the cover I built for the horse. This is our arena kind of thing, so you can ride around a little bit in here. And we use it for a corral. It's nice and big. We only have one horse now, so. But yeah, we built this nice little cover for him here. Come out really, guys. It's a nice tall cover. Keep him out of the weather. Just pretty simple. Big beam up there. I got that beam. I picked up the beam for $50. So that was a sweet deal for me on that. But anyway, got this all done. Got this all done before the wood prices went crazy, and threw a comp roof on it, and that's it.
I put railroad ties in and then just put on, built up kind of a post out of pressure treated material. So I'm gonna put some a little bit of cross bracing on there for wind and stuff, but other than that, it's pretty much done. We don't get much here, so that worked out really well. Then this winter we did have a big windstorm. I posted some pictures, I think, on Instagram about that, and it took out an oak tree. We took this oak tree out this winter also. That's about 2-foot stump right there. It's a pretty good size oak tree. Not actually a very young oak tree. For around here, oak trees get 6-foot bases on them. So that was a kind of a young tree. It's been here. It was only about 4 or 5 inches in diameter when we moved here. So 30 years it grew to 2 feet. So anyway, a tree very similar to that size was right over here, just right here, and it blew down and took out. You can see the new boards on the garden fence here. Took out the corner of the garden. Took out these two. These are 2 new apple trees right here. Wiped these 2 trees out, so we put in new apple trees right here. And yeah, we had that mess to clean up and repair that whole fence this winter. It was just lovely. Quite the mess. We were going to take this tree out anyway, and we were just a week too late because we were talking about it, and my friend who I fixed the jacks for was going to come over and cut it down, and then we got delayed on it, and then the wind came, so kind of got messed up there. Yeah, this is our little orchard we have here. We have we added 2 new trees to the orchard, so we have 22 trees in here. We have cherry trees, peach trees. We have 3 pear trees. These are peaches in here. Peaches have a tough time here, but we get some. We're going to get some. We have a couple nectarine trees, and we have 8 apple trees. There's 4 apple trees over there, and we have 4 apple trees here, and then in the garden. And then we'll have pomegranates up behind the house. We just put those in, so eventually. Now we have deer here, turkeys, bears. We have all that stuff here. I built a new gate, and need a new gate, and this is made from some of the cedar that we milled, actually, and that came out real nice. Put a new gate on this side of the garden. This is a big gate so I can get the tractor in there. We have some panels laid up over here. These are strawberries on the outside out here, and just to keep the deer away from them and stuff. They used to be inside, and they kind of grew outside, so we just leave them outside. Usually the birds eat them all anyway. Yeah, this is our garden. It's all planted already right here. This is a 40 by 40 garden, and we just added the raised beds this year. We built those and got those all in. Yeah, kind of doing things a little bit different this year, trying some raised beds, and they're all protected from the bottom with a plastic hardware cloth type of stuff to keep gophers out. Gophers are a menace. We're doing pretty good. We're doing really good on the control of them, but just caught one this morning. They come from across the street, actually. Now, last year summer I built the addition on the shop, and this summer I'll be re-roofing the other part of the shop, the older part. We'll get that re-roofed. I have everything here. I'm ready to go, so I'll re-roof that. Here's some of the one oak log that we milled up. We got some boards right there. They're about 6, 7, almost 7 feet long. Cut them about 2 inches thick. That top one kind of warped pretty good, but those heavier ones, pretty good. And then down here we have Roscoe the shop dog. This is his usual spot. He loves it under vehicles. Smile, Roscoe. We've been using the grapple an awful lot, and ended up with a couple cracks, a little crack in here, which is minor really. So I cleaned that up, welded that. Same on the other side. Other than that, thing is performing awesome. I love this thing. Had it for like 4 years now. So yeah, just awesome. Best tool for a tractor right there, especially up here in the woods. And if you have a lot of brush or anything like that, unbelievable how good that works. So a little messy in the shop. A little bit messy. Got things, I'm pretty set on things. I'm still doing some stuff. Gonna put up a rack for the grinders. I got a rack from ZT Fab for the grinders, which is, Paul at ZT Fab. He makes some nice stuff. So I bought a rack from him, and I need to buy a couple more things from him. I think they're really very well made. If you're not familiar with Paul at ZT Fab. Yeah, here's a oak block we cut up. I'm going to turn that into a couple of anvil stands. I got possibly a couple friends that want them or been talking, so I cut some up, and we'll get some anvil stands made. Other than that, kind of messy. Little project here. This is the clamping bar off of a high lift jack, all busted out, a little too much. These things aren't very well made, so I got some steel here all squared up already, and we're gonna make one out of that, out of a piece of steel, and it's thicker, so we're gonna make one of those up. I got these two tool holders. These are 1 inch, and the biggest I can hold is a 3/4. These came from a viewer, and I am going to mill off the bottom of these 2 tool holders right there, and for the big lathes. So those, I have inserts for them, and those are good. So if you saw my hydraulic jack, the tree jack series I did on the repair of the pump and the jacks and everything, well, evidently another tree faller saw it too. He contacted me, and he has a Sylvie single tree jack. This is called a featherweight hijacker. It has the pump and cylinder all in one, and we're going to take a look at this and get this operational for him. So fortunately I have a parts list at least, but that's okay. We'll figure everything out and take it apart and get that done for him. So here's some of the parts that Gary Brown sent me. This is for the joiner extra spindle and quadrants, or trunnions as everybody keeps calling them. Trunnion, quadrant, it doesn't matter. And this is for the joiner also, blade guard. But saw parts. More saw parts. Here's the whole body right here. I'm going to take the lifting mechanism out of this and take this. I don't have this blade guard, and I'm probably going to take these off and reuse this badge. But gave me a whole saw basically here. Yeah, here's one anvil stand kind of started right there. And then some of the parts. Here's some of the parts, a little dusty, but all cleaned up, masked. These are ready to paint right here. And some more of the parts. All these parts here are cleaned up and ready to paint. So, yeah, here's the original badge. So the other one's a lot brighter. We'll probably use it. And all the parts I took out, this is the parts that are worn out. Right here, these gears. Yeah, some more cleanup, but I'm getting there slowly but surely. This is the correct Delta joiner right here. That will go on a stand. It's got a little more cleanup on the stand to do, so I can get it painted also. And we'll take this all apart and get this all fixed up here, so it's nice. Gary also gave me a entire new table And the thing is just in awesome condition. I cleaned it all up. It was pretty rusty and all that, but I've got it all cleaned up and a little more paint stripping on the back to do. And we'll get this, this came out awesome. It's gonna be just beautiful. It's a lot better shape than the one I have. And I still got this more of this paint to get off, and we'll get that cleaned up and get it painted. Okay, guys, so that's a quick catch up on the shop here. I hope to see you guys at the bash, and maybe I'll be able to get a video out before the bash. I'm really gonna try, but no guarantees on that. But we're gonna try. So be sure to check out Stan Zinkowski, link below for the bash. Be sure to check out the description of the video to get a knocker for my email address. Email me if you're interested, and I'll send you the information. Help support me to get to the bash. Anyway, please subscribe and watch some other videos. Thank you. And thanks for sticking with me. I really do appreciate it. And we'll have a lot more videos coming out as June progresses and stuff. We're getting all the doctor things done and stuff. So the summer should be a pretty good time, and I'll be able to get videos done. So thank you again, and we'll see you in the next one.